why am I singing their music? Well, it's my music too. Now, that's me growing up in a segregated southern state.
With a warm, powerful baritone voice and a talent for phrasing that gave his performances a down-home authenticity and credibility, this singer was one of country music's major success stories from the late 60s to the 80s. He is most comfortable telling relevant stories about love and life with tuneful compositions to back up his singing. Between 1966 and 1983, this singer had 36 #1 country singles and 12 gold albums. For a while, he was RCA Records' second best-selling act after only Elvis Presley, and he remained a popular live draw even after his conventional style fell out of favor on country radio. Part of what made this man's early success so noteworthy was that he was the first African-American singer to achieve considerable prominence in country music. During the mid-60s and 70s, race was a contentious subject in America. This musician proved that there was a place for black musicians on Nashville's hit parade, and he was the most consistently successful African-American performer in country music during his career. The centerpiece of today's video is all about Charley Pride. Before we start, let's be sure to leave a like on the video, subscribe to the channel, and push the notification bell to be sure you won't miss on any more uploads. Now without further ado, let's cue that intro. Born Charley Frank Pride on March 18, 1934 in Sledge, Mississippi, he was the fourth of 11 children of impoverished sharecroppers. Pride was born on a cotton plantation. His father wanted to call him Charles Frank Pride, but due to a clerical error on his birth certificate, his legal name became Charley Frank Pride. His older brother, Mac Pride, played Negro League baseball before becoming a priest. Charley purchased a guitar from Sears Roebuck at the age of 14 and taught himself to play by listening to country music on the radio. Pride liked music, but one of his longtime ambitions was to become a professional baseball player. In 1952, he pitched for the Memphis Red Sox of the Negro American League. In 1953, he joined with the Boise Yankees, the New York Yankees Class C farm team. During that season, an injury caused him to lose the mustard on his fastball. Thus, he was sent to the Yankees Class D team in Fond du Lac, Wisconsin. Pride pitched for many different minor league clubs with prospects of making it to the major league still there, until being recruited into the United States Army in 1956. Following basic training, he was assigned to Fort Carson, Colorado, where he worked as a quartermaster and played on the Force baseball team. That squad won the All-Army Sports Championship. When he was released in 1958, he rejoined the Memphis Red Sox. He attempted to return to baseball but was hampered by an injury to his throwing arm. Pride, discouraged by his inability to qualify for the major leagues, worked construction in Helena, Montana, while still playing in the minors. He eventually had a tryout for the California Angels in 1961, but they turned him down, as did the New York Mets the following year. Pride turned to music after his baseball career appeared to be gone, and in 1963 he sang Lovesick Blues for Red Foley and Red Sylvain backstage at one of Sylvain's concerts. The seasoned musicians were impressed and suggested Charley visit Nashville.
Yeah.
You were so hungry.
When I was playing baseball up in Iowa, I went up to play in the Iowa State League, and we were playing on what we call a percentage basis, and if you didn't play, you didn't get paid. I mean, it was that simple, and it seemed like it would be just beautiful like it is today. I don't know when this will be aired, but this is a beautiful day outside.
Sure is.
Sunshine, and it's what I call golf weather.
Right, me too.
But it would be shining real pretty. And by the way, we ended up being stationed in Andy Williams' hometown of Wall Lake, Iowa, and
Playing ball.
yeah, we were an all-black team in that league, in that Iowa State League, and the guy took over. I forget his name, but I think his name is in the book. Popcorn King, they call him. But
Yeah.
other than until he did that, we had ran out of money because we'd been up in Iowa for about a week or two trying to get ready to play, get the games in where we could draw people and get the percentage money split down.
And every day is a rain day.
Well, it'd be pretty all day, and the night come, it just rained cats. So finally, he took the team over, and what happened too, of course, it was a blessing in a way in disguise. On the one hand, when I got to start playing, I had tried out for the Memphis Red Sox and didn't quite make it because they had guys like Ollie Brantley, Marshall Bridges, which Marshall Bridges eventually went on to be with the Cincinnati Reds and the Yankees. And the manager went back and rated the whole team because we wasn't winning once we got started, and sent me packing. Not just me, but a bunch of other players and pitchers, a couple, three of us. So I went straight back to Memphis, got me a job. So after I got on the team, they couldn't shake me any more in my lifetime because I made the team and stayed there for, not forever, but.
Now you played in that postseason All-Star team that went against Willie Mays and Monty Irvin,
right.
Hank Aaron, some of the great players.
Right.
And I read some of the clippings that are reproduced in the book. I mean, they're real keepsakes. I
Yes,
mean,
that's correct.
And you tell that story of you were a pitcher and an outfielder.
Yeah.
And there's that one game where you had them going 1-0 in the 8th.
Yes,
and you thought, finally, I'm going to get them.
Albany, Georgia. Yeah. But we didn't get them that night. They beat me 2-1.
2-1.
And but I did get a chance later on. Was in Victoria, Texas, 4-2 in relief, 4 innings of shutout ball. I don't know whether they have.
Yep,
have
that's
that
right.
one in
Sure.
there, but I think they have that.
And yeah, they do. And there's another clipping in there where you drove in the 3 runs and won a ball game. I mean.
Yeah.
Now, you're a modest man, and when I talked about your success in monetary terms, you sort of deflected that a little bit. But the truth of the matter is, you've been extremely successful, and you've.
Pride followed their advice and flew to Music City, but he could not break into the industry. However, both the Reds and Webb peers continued to encourage the emerging vocalists to their acquaintances, finally securing a management arrangement with Jack Johnson. Pride met producer Jack Clement through Johnson, and Clement submitted Pride's demo tape to Chet Atkins at RCA, who signed the vocalist in 1966. Later that year, Pride's debut song, The Snakes Crawled at Night, was released without a press shot since the company was unsure whether radio programmers would promote a black country artist. Both The Snakes Crawled at Night and his second single, Before I Met You, gained a small audience, but it wasn't until Just Between You and Me that Charley became a star. Released at the end of 1966, Just Between You and Me climbed to number 9 and began a virtually uninterrupted streak of top 10 singles that ran until 1984. Out of his 54 singles issued during those 18 years, only 3 failed to crack the top 10. Though he was praised upon the release of Just Between You and Me and won a Grammy Award for the single, there remained resistance in certain quarters of the country audience to a black performer. Nonetheless, Pride's continuous quality of music, as well as the encouragement of his fellow artists, helped him get forward. On January 7th, 1967, he became the first black musician to appear at the Grand Ole Opry since Deaford Bailey in 1925. Over the next 2 years, his star progressively climbed, and from 1969 to 1971, he had 6 consecutive #1 songs. All I Have to Offer You Is Me, I'm So Afraid of Losing You Again, Is Anybody Going to San Antonio, Wonder Could I Live There Anymore, I Can't Believe That You've Stopped Loving Me, and I'd Rather Love You. Those singles also charted in the lower regions of the pop charts, showing evidence of his smooth country pop crossover appeal. Let Me Live, taken from his gospel album. Did You Think to Pray temporarily broke his streak of #1 singles in the spring of 1971, but it won a Grammy for Best Gospel Performance. Directly after Let Me Live, 2 of his biggest hits, I'm Just Me and Kiss an Angel Good Morning, arrived, earning him his greatest success on both the country and pop charts. Throughout the 70s, Pride continued to chart in the upper regions of the country charts, earning #1 singles like It's gonna take a little bit longer. She's Too Good to Be True, A Shoulder to Cry On, then Who Am I? She's Just an Old Love Turned Memory, and Where Do I Put Her Memory? During this time, he remained loyal to his country pop style, though he promoted new performers and songwriters like Ronnie Milsap, Gary Stewart, and Chris Christopherson. Pry's success continued during the first half of the 80s, as he continued to have #1 hits like Honky Tonk Blues, Mountain of Love, You're So Good When You're Bad, and Night Games. During 1984 and 1985, he became dissatisfied with RCA Records, which began to push fresher musicians at the cost of experienced singers such as Pry himself. He departed the label at the end of 1986 and signed with Oprah's 16th Avenue label, where he reunited with his former producer. Pry had several minor hits for the label, highlighted by 1988's number 5, Shouldn't It Be Easier Than This? Before the company went under, Pry moved on to Honest Entertainment in the early 90s, where he released My 6th Latest and 6th Greatest. Pry remained a popular concert draw, despite his less frequent radio appearances. On every show, he was accompanied by his son Dion Pry, who played lead guitar. In 1994, Pry received the Academy of Country Music's Pioneer Award. While remaining active as a live performer, he sometimes recorded in the 21st century, releasing choices in 2011 in Music and My Heart in 2018. In November 2020, the Country Music Association presented Pry with the Willie Nelson Lifetime Achievement Award, with the head of the CMA declaring, Charley Pride is the epitome of a trailblazer. For the CMA Awards broadcast, he sang Kiss an Angel Good Morning as a duet with Jimmy Allen. It proved to be Pry's last major public appearance, as he passed in Dallas on December 12th due to complications from the COVID-19 virus. He was only 86 years old. Now, before we go, I have a few questions for you all. Who are some country music pioneers would you like to see a documentary on? Also, what was your favorite song from Charley Pride?